Hello there, it is I, Lacrox. I've been asked to do a Let's Build by Teatime Simmer. So today we're going to go through and we're going to look at the beauty, the magnificence that I have created for her. Now, it's been a long time since I've played The Sims, back when Sims 3 was a game. I used to just make pools and drown people in them. But, as you can see, my skills have improved dramatically since then. Now, I've gone with a very subtle build here. For those of you that are wondering how I made so much money, I did not cheat. Cheating is for losers. I have a very special way of earning money in this game, which will be explained later. But as you can see from this design, I've gone from a very, what we like to call edgelord aesthetic. As you can see, it's based on a skull, specifically the skulls of my enemy, or enemies. And if you look carefully, I've chosen two separate doors here. One door is the door of truth, and one is the door of lies. There's also the party entrance door, which we'll get to later. Now, while going through windows, I have no idea how to place windows. So, as you can see, it takes me a while to figure out that they rotate to the wall. You can do this manually, but I don't have time for such petty nonsense. I've tried to give this house as much light as I possibly can, but you know, things happen. Things get in the way. Mainly, that I haven't put a roof on the house. So, I want everyone to be able to see my roof. I don't like these tiny little roofs that people put on their houses. I want you to be able to see my roof from space and go, damn, that's a big roof. Now, some may say that I don't know how to rotate the roofs properly, or to actually put them on the house. That's not true. The truth is, you just need more roofs. If there's not enough roofs on your house, just put more on there. You don't need to figure out how they go on. You just need to put them on there so they cover the house. Now, as we go through the build, you're going to notice that my aesthetic is sort of a neo-gothic. I like to mix and match. I like everything to come together. But I also like to show just that little hint of fun. Now, as we go around the rest of the house, I've gone with a white on the outside. That's to represent bone. And this staircase, unfortunately, I couldn't figure out how to attach the staircase. But I believe it serves as a challenge for the people that want to get to the upper portion of the house. If you're not strong enough to get up there, you don't belong up there. The flags represent my nationalism towards Simopolis. I wanted to put in the flag of Latveria, but unfortunately the game doesn't have that. I like to support the environment, so I've placed banana trees on the roof. So anyone that gets up there is able to sustain themselves while they live up there. From there, we move on to the interior of the house. Now, you may have noticed there's a lot of rooms, but the most important is probably the death room here. If you go into the wrong room of the house, you fall into the pool and die. I don't tell you which door it is, and occasionally I have builders come over and switch the rooms around. This is just how I weed out the weak. I wanted some interesting things on the outside of the house so people know it. So they go, that's beautiful. That touches me. But I also realized that I need a bathroom. Now, the mistake many people make is that they try to put the bathroom on the inside of the house. That's gross. You don't do poo-poo in the house. Poo-poo goes outside. But while you're in the bathroom, I need you to have nice lighting. I need you to be able to see what you're doing, but I also want you to feel good. So I put a festive Christmas tree in there. From there, we move on to the inside of the house, and I decide we need an ice room. Also, I like the candelabras. I don't know if that's what they're called, but that's what I'm going to call them. We also move into more windows, because I like natural light. Now, you may be looking at that window and saying, that's too close to the ground. Now, you see, that's a special window. That's for ground light. That reflects off the grass into the house. From here, we go to doors. I like see-through doors, because I need to be able to see what you're doing in my house. If there's a guest, and I don't want you screwing things up. Here, I desperately try to figure out how to rotate furniture. It's a little complicated. It takes a long time. But eventually, I figure out how to rotate. Now, you may say, oh, it looked like you paused the game so that you could look up a walkthrough. That's not true. We don't want those lies and slander in this house. The kitchen is very stylish, very modern. I try and give it all the accoutrement that you need, even if I don't know what that word means. I also wanted you to be able to sit while you cook, and I have three separate fridges. One for me for snacks, and one for guests. Guests get the crappy fridge. From here, I start adding in more lighting. I enjoy the little touches, like the small lighthouse. I also put in a fire extinguisher for safety reasons, of course, and an umbrella stand. From here, we move into garbage cans, which I can't figure out how to put, so I'm just going to go over here near the bin. Floors, I made sure every room had a different floor, just to represent the feel of that room, to represent how we all feel. As you can see, the party room, the ice room, the kitchen, the main area, the bathroom, and then I decide, oh, I actually need somewhere to sleep. A lot of people overlook this. I don't. Now I've gone with a combo of purple and black because I like that color. I don't care what you say. I tried to get a racing car bed, but then I realized that they're not allowed for adults, which I feel is ageism. I then put in separate beds. They're all for me. Don't touch my beds. But I go through them. I rotate my beds. Now some say, well, there's only 5 beds there, so how do you rotate them through the week? That's because I don't follow your calendar. I follow my calendar. There's 5 days of the week. It's Monday, Bad Monday, Other Monday, Sunday, and Lacrox Day. From here we move on, and I start decorating the animal room. The animal room is specifically for animals. We'll get to more of that later. I start putting toy robots everywhere because the toy robots are representative of my inner soul, which is Megatron from Transformers, who believes that you should all be enslaved and worshipping me. I think that this suits me. I think it really shows who I am as a person. So as we go through the build, you'll see more and more of these toy robots going everywhere. From there, we move into entertainment, the most important part of the house, obviously. And then I get distracted and put more animals in the animal room. And here we worship the most important person. That room is specifically for Gnomethulhu. We'll get to Gnomethulhu shortly as I decorate the outside of the house. I hope you all noticed the well there that is for Sadako from the ring. If your house doesn't have a Sadako well, what are you doing? There's something wrong with you. Some people say I could have easily made all those couches go together properly. That doesn't go with the feng shui of my house. Now, I don't follow actual feng shui, I follow my own version of feng shui, which is fun, because it's shui. Now, the entertainment section takes up a fair amount of house. I did put a small TV in the house, in my bedroom, because I don't want to be distracted from my important work in there. Now, you may have also noticed the obstacle course into the bedroom. The obstacle course is there because I don't want riffraff getting in there. You have to be able to get through it and get past the army of robots to be able to get to the bed. Even I have to pass through this obstacle course. Sometimes I'm too tired and I just sleep out in the hallway. Now we begin decorating the dining area. As you can see, everyone else has a terrible chair and I have the best chair. It's just the way it should be. As the owner of the house, you should know your place. The gaming room, of course, has no lights and an amazing chair and an amazing computer. Because if you have lights in your gaming room, you're doing it wrong. Everyone knows true gamers live in the dark. Also, can your chair do this? From there, we move on to painting the actual walls of the house. Now, I wanted each wall to represent the feeling of the room. So the ice room gets a nice blue color. The pet room gets a nice green. The bedroom gets this nice Art Deco black and white. I then tried to give the rest of the house just this feeling of lived in, fun, just representative. The other thing is, I forget to paint the rest of the house, but you know, paint's overrated. You don't need to paint your house. you can just live in it, and over time it will take on the color of the people that live there, mainly through things that have been thrown at the wall or fallen near the wall, or just stain over time. I think this truly represents who's living in the house. We begin expanding out the Gnomethulhu room. Now, before I mentioned the money that I make, I don't use cheating. I worship Gnomethulhu. May he reign forever and eat us first. Gnomethulhu is an important aspect of my life. You can see him there. I try not to get shots of his face because he doesn't like that. Now, the worship altar should only be accessed by those truly devoted to Gnomethulhu. If you don't worship him properly, he will kill you and send you to the death room that's in the middle of the house. You're just instantly teleported there. There's no burial, there's no ceremony. So just keep that in mind. And from the screaming we can hear in the middle of the house, it's probably not a quick or easy death. So just be careful. Just worship him in your own way. I have no idea what this thing is, but I wanted it in the house. And then couldn't find a way to get it in there. Here we work on the 24/7 party room. This is a room that's always partying. I have staff in there that have to party all the time. Again, I don't know what that thing is, but it looked cool, so I put it in the house. The 24/7 party room staff aren't allowed to leave the room. If they attempt to leave the room before their 24-hour shift, they are punished severely by the knight that lives in that closet. He's an ancient spirit inhabited by the dogs that try to enter into the pet room. The pet room isn't for dogs. They're just instantly evaporated into nothingness, and their spirits are all formed into an amalgam that goes into that suit of armor, which kills the people that try to get out of the 24/7 party room. From here I decorate the outside of the house a bit more because I want it to be welcoming. I want you to see the garden and the llama to represent Fortnite. That game I love oh so much. The hedges so you just can't peek in easily. And I wanted to put in a bit of a path so you can easily get to the house. I then accidentally delete a door and then try and figure out how to redo it, but I can't. So this takes a while, messing around with the menus, trying to figure out the buttons, and eventually I managed to get the door back in. From here we move on to wanting to be able to get in to worship those that have failed the test of Gnomethulhu. Then I realized we need some storage for the books that I like to collect. They're mostly self-help books to try and help me overcome my inner demons. I put this thing in the house, mainly because it looks cool and I want people to think I'm smart, so I also put in a chest table. More for the 24/7 party room. We move on, and I also put a violin in there. I don't know how to play the violin. And just to give you a little bit of company in the toilet, that mannequin stares at you. 24/7 room keeps expanding. As a fish tank, I only occupy it with snails. And there you go. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've gotten a bit of an insight into how I work. And I hope you have a good time. If you want to download this wonderful house, feel free. And I'll see you on the next time. Alright, bye everybody. Oh, whiskey.